Welcome back to another day of Koronasana with Yoga on a Roll. So today's class you won't really need props, but if you want to follow completely along with us, maybe go grab a big old pillow off your couch or your bed. And we're going to start on our backs in a supported Shavasana. So the pillow is going to go right underneath your knees. It'll probably end up catching your calves as well, depending on how big it is, but there's no need to let it inch up towards the thighs. Just let those knees feel supported. The feet might float off the ground and away from the mat. And what this is doing is allowing your low back to settle down into the mat and just your entire spine to be completely supported here. So we'll start class with 10 deep breaths. There's no right or wrong way to do these breaths. You're just starting to deepen with every single breath cycle, hopefully about an extra count on the inhale and an extra maybe 2 counts on the exhale. Just starting to allow your body to relax and your mind to hopefully settle. Depending on what time of day you take this class, you probably are bringing some tension with you. So we aim to let that go here in our starting shape. This class is going to be a lot slower paced than usual. It'll be less transitions and more just kind of hanging out in poses. So throughout the time on the mat today, just think about quieting the mind. Even when you're moving into a different shape that might be more difficult than the last one, just think about calming and stilling the mind and the body. And we'll take about 3 more breath cycles here. We'll hug the knees into the chest on the next inhale. And if you can, just kind of take the feet and push that little pillow away. Yeah, just gently slide it down the mat. Hug those knees into the chest. And you're just going to take little sweet rocks from side to side. And just like truly notice where you feel this along your spine. And if there's any organic movement that wants to happen, like knee circles, maybe a little hug with the forehead coming up to the knees, anything like that, listen to your body and let your spine start to open a little bit here. Awesome. Left foot will go down to the mat, and the right leg will shoot up like it's holding up the ceiling. And you're just going to point and flex. So Val's grabbing around her thigh. Feel free to do that. If that's just kind of too much right now, it's fine to just leave the hands down by the hips. We'll go one more round. If you're taking the ankle in a circle, just reverse the circle, go the opposite way. And we're going to go in for a supine pigeon from here. So the ankle is going to pop over that left knee. The left foot will come up off the mat, and you'll grab around the thigh, the hamstring. And sometimes people like to straighten that left leg and grab around the calf. So again, just do what feels right to you. But as much as you can, you're going to pull that whole situation closer to your body. So there's no need to peel the forehead up towards the knee. Where you want to feel this is the outside of that right glute. Give a little pointing or flexing in both feet. And just continue to pull that entire little foundation that you've created in towards your chest for 2 more breath cycles. You can even push the right thigh away from you using the right elbow. Just add a little resistance. And on your next exhale, we'll make this a twist. The arms will open up like wings. We're going to drop that right foot to the left side of the mat. And then there's options here. You can just hang out exactly as you land, or you can take the left hand to the right knee and kind of pull the legs down further towards the ground. And some of you that are like super flexible might be able to reach the right hand for that left foot and come into a little cattail expression here. No need to make it perfect, but once you feel a stretch in the top of that left quad, then you know you're doing something right here. So allow your breath to deepen again. Try to come back to that elongating inhale and exhale. Awesome. 3 more breaths in our twist here. Just kind of noticing where the right shoulder lands. Maybe you can get it closer to the ground. Maybe it's on the ground and you can notice how close the shoulder blades are together, opening your chest a little more. And then let's come back to center with both knees. Give yourself that little yogi hug. Awesome. And let's put the right foot down, left leg lifts, and just simple rolling of the ankle, pointing, flexing the foot. Feeling a little stretch in that left hammy. And we'll go in for our supine pigeon. So hook the ankle over the right knee, lift the right foot up off the ground. Grab around that right hamstring and start to pull. Action in the feet, pointing or flexing, you get to choose. They both protect the knee in the same way. Adding a little resistance, pushing back on that left thigh with the left elbow. And holding this for 2 more breaths. We'll open up to our twist when you're ready, arms nice and wide, and dropping the knees over to the right side of the mat. So just noticing that left shoulder now, letting it melt down towards the ground, relaxing your neck, your jaw, and if you want to go cattail on this side, it would be the left hand reaching for that right foot. Hanging out here for 3 more nice, long, deep breaths. At the end of your 3rd exhale, just kind of unwind yourself, come back to that little yogi ball, and we're just going to rock and roll the length of our spine here on the mat about 3 times. Just get a little massage. You can always go more if you are really feeling that rock and roll. When you're ready, we're coming up to Sukhasana. So that's that crisscross leg position. Easy seat here. Awesome. We're going to take a little breath exercise here called Samavriti, or equal parts breathing. Some people know it as box breathing. I'll run you through it, and then we'll start to do it together. The inhale is going to last for a count of 4. You're going to hold your breath for hopefully the same count of 4. And you'll exhale out your nose for a count of 4, holding the breath out at the bottom again, hopefully for the same count of 4. So let's go. Inhaling nice and deep for 3, 2, and 1. Holding the breath at the top for 3, 2, and 1. Letting it out your mouth. 3, 2, 1. And holding that breath out for 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling nice and deep. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. Awesome. And then try out the nose if you can. Exhale for 2 and 1 more second, holding the breath out. Good job, guys. Inhaling nice and deep. Holding at the top. And exhaling nice and deep. Hold that breath out. And let's go 1 more round. A deep, full inhale in through the nose. Hold the breath, Kumbhaka. And exhaling nice and deep. Holding the breath at the bottom. Beautiful. So you can start to come back to whatever the rhythm of breath was before that you had. And we're going to keep that exact same rhythm throughout class. So inhaling to lift the arms up over the head. And exhaling, hands back down towards the hips. 2 more of those. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, let it go. Last time. Nice long length in the arms, in the torso, and the side body. And exhale. We're going to reach up 1 more time. This time we're going to twist to the right on the exhale. Let the right hand come behind you. Let the left hand maybe swoop over to that right knee. Yeah, root down through the fingertips, lift up through the crown of the head. When you exhale again, can you twist further past that right shoulder? Beautiful. Now you're going to keep the left hand where it is. That right arm is going to reach up and overhead. It's going to aim to reach that left knee, and you're going to round your back here for 2 breaths. Awesome. On your next inhale, both arms reach up nice and high. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand falls to that left knee. Left fingertips root down. Make your spine really long here, and then exhale to twist a little further, journeying over that left shoulder. Take that left hand up and overhead. It comes to the right knee, and you round your back. Beautiful. One more breath cycle. On your next inhale, you're going to cactus the arms and open the chest, push the belly forward. And as you exhale, round the spine, give yourself a little hug. Notice which arm is on top. Let's switch it up. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, opposite arm on top, little hug. And you're going to go just like that about 3 more times. Think of it as a seated cat-cow, that spinal flexion and extension. Beautiful. Exhale and hold that rounded spine. Try to creepy crawl your fingers a little further back behind you. Get a little stretch through that upper back. Awesome. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to crawl into a tabletop position. So make your way there however is comfortable for your body. Again, no right or wrong way. Once you arrive, though, just kind of ensure that the knees are under the hips, the hands are under the shoulders. And for this one, we're actually going to bring the knees and the ankles together. So you're going to lift up the feet and take them to the right corner of the mat, and then gaze over that right shoulder. Over to the left side, and exhale to gaze over the shoulder. And you're going to keep rocking this like side body cat-cow for a few breaths. So get into it. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you kind of find the belly dropping as you inhale. Awesome. Side to side here, about 2 more times on each side. When you finish that second round on your second side, we're going to take it through a simple cat-cow. So separate your knees so they land right under the hips, drop your belly, lift your heart, your tail, and exhale, round everything upwards. Inhale, cow pose, and exhale, gentle cat. Really push the spine up. 2 more visits to each posture. You got it. Even moving through poses, we're working on elongating that breath cycle. Eventually making the exhale double the seconds the inhale was. That'll take time. So just kind of focus on counting how long it takes you to breathe in and breathe out. We'll find a neutral back here. Kick that right leg out behind you when you're ready. And we're going to take gentle sunbird here, not with the arms, just that knee is going to come towards the forehead as you exhale, round the spine. 2 more of those. Inhale to kick back. And exhale, knee towards forehead. 1 more. Hug that knee in towards the forehead, maybe lift it a little bit higher, and then we're going to step that foot through for a low lunge. So start to kind of wiggle that left knee a little further back behind you until you feel a stretch in the hip flexor, and then lift the arms overhead, push the hips forward, deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll find a half split, so the hands will come down to frame that leg, and you'll start to reach the toes up towards the knee. And we're going to rock and roll through these 2 shapes a few times. So again, if you want to close your eyes and kind of challenge your balance, you can always do that. Maybe you keep a soft little gaze past your nose as you inhale, exhale. Be gentle with yourself. Be easy on yourself here. Oftentimes, especially during this quarantine, we're sitting a lot. And so just letting the body open and stretch in a way that's like friendly and gentle. No pushing, no pulling. Beautiful. We'll exhale into the half split. We'll stay there for a little while here. So you can deepen if you want to. Walk the hands to the outside of the leg. You might even grab onto the foot with the left hand. Not necessary if you don't want to deepen, but we're going to be here in the half split for 1 more breath cycle. Awesome. Come back into your low lunge. And we're going to take a gentle quad stretch on that left leg. So just take the right hand to the knee, and maybe you lift up the shoulders and start to bend that left knee. Just see if maybe you'd be able to grab the foot behind you. If If it's not available, then that's okay. Just keep pointing the toes in the air. If you want to challenge your balance, you might lift that right hand nice and high into the sky. Again, not necessary, just something a little extra. One more deep breath in, and on your exhale, release that. We're going to come back to our tabletop position, right knee under the hip. And let's do our left side. Kick the left leg out nice and long. Inhale. Exhale, round the spine, knee towards the forehead. 2 more, just like that. Gentle and easy on ourselves today. Hug in that last rounding, and then let's step that foot through in between the hands. Coming in for our low lunge to half split, so take it as you need it here. If you want to linger in a posture, it feels good, then do that. If you're ready to rock and roll, then just continue on with that gentle movement, but full deep breaths here. Feel what's going on in the right hip, and notice what's happening in that left hamstring every time you pull back into your splits. Same idea as our cat-cow. Every time you inhale, you're pushing the belly forward, opening the heart. And every time you exhale, you're rounding the spine, folding. Very nice. Couple more visits to each posture here. The next time you're in the half split, we're going to hang out there. So if you deepened on side 1, feel free to do it here. But again, not necessary. Breathe into that hammy. Sometimes when we're tight, this can be quite excruciating. So again, just let your breath take you somewhere else. Notice what feels good in the posture rather than what feels tensionful. And then let's find our little quad stretch. Come back into your low lunge. And start to bring the left hand to the knee. Reach your shoulders over your hips. Bend that right knee. And if it feels possible to reach back and grab your foot, go for it. If you want to reach that left arm high, just be careful. Start to root down through the left foot. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to move into a child's pose. Bring both knees back behind you. Sink those hips back. Arms can go super far forward or just back by your feet. The hands can kind of flip up towards the ceiling if you want that. And still taking those nice deep breaths. It's really easy during these little pauses in our practice to start thinking about what the rest of the day holds. Maybe remember some things you forgot to do yesterday, things like that. It's totally normal. But just kind of give yourself that gentle reminder that you're here on your mat and your intention is to stay present and focus on that breath. The next time you breathe in, we're going to start to find a down dog. So you can curl your toes, reach those hands a little further forward, lift the hips, and just allow this, of course, to be kind of gentle and automatic in the body. So whatever needs to happen. A lot of times it's these walking legs, the wagging tail. Beautiful. 2 more breaths to find movement or stillness if that's what you're into. Notice how Val melts her heart towards her thighs. That's the action you want to take here. We're going to lift the right leg on a deep breath in. Bend our knee and just stack the right hip on top of the left. Push through that right hand, try to square the shoulders off, and then make sure your jaw is nice and loose here, no clenching. Right leg will extend nice and long, and as you exhale, step that foot through in between the hands. We're going to find a warrior. The back foot spins down at an angle, not quite as open. You'll notice that her toes are pointing up towards the left corner of the mat, so you want to find that shape with the foot. Deep. And exhale, hands come behind the back. Take an interlaced grip, or maybe you just grab for your wrists if the knuckles are a little too much. On your next breath out, you're going to humble your warrior. So the right shoulder comes inside the right knee, the crown of the head towards the floor. And let those hands kind of reach up as far as the shoulders are going to allow. One more deep breath in. And as she exhales here, we're going to step it to a forward fold. Release the hands, step that left foot up. And again, it's nice and gentle. There is no forcing. The knees be as bent as feels good, right? The straighter the legs, the harder this is on the hamstrings, and the more your spine is going to be pulled downward in a rounded position. So every time she bends those knees, notice how the fold deepens. And we're going to be here for 2 more breaths, hanging out in the fold. You can ragdoll it. You can hang out in stillness. Maybe you're reaching for the toes. Whatever feels good for you. We'll halfway lift on a breath in and exhale to fold. Let's roll it all the way up, nice and slow. The head will be the last thing to come up. Awesome. Arms reach up overhead. Bring those hands to your heart. Now, this is going to be more of a challenge for what we're going into next, so feel free to go hips if you feel like balancing the hands at the chest is too much. One leg Tadasana. Right knee will go up to hip height. And we're just going to hang out here for 3 strong breaths. So even though it doesn't seem like much, this is activating the balance in that left foot. You'll feel it in the left arch. And you're, of course, going to feel it in that right thigh, the right glute, lifting up that knee maybe an inch higher on an inhale. All right, nice and easy. We'll set that leg down. Take a deep breath in. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, lateral stretch to the right. You can drop the right hand down, or you can take any kind of grip with the hands that you like. You just want to be leaning to the right, hips pushing to the left. And we'll go to side 2. Inhale through center, and exhale. Push those hips to the right, lean to the left. 1 more round of breath. The next time you breathe in, just come up through center, Urdhva Hastasana, forward fold on our exhale. Melt your heart down. Beautiful. We're going to step it back to a down dog. If you desire that vinyasa flow with the push-up, you can always take that, but today's class is a little bit easier on the bod. So 3 more deep breaths in your down dog, and again, you can find that wagging tail, you can find those bending in the knees, or you can just hang out in your still down dog. Lifting the left leg on a breath in, we'll bend that knee, stack the left hip on the right. Try to keep the shoulders square by pushing through that left hand. 1 more deep breath. Inhale to straighten the leg, and exhale to step it through for Warrior 1. Foot comes in between the hands, and that back heel starts to angle down onto the mat. The toes point up to the right corner of the mat. And notice here how Val is not on like a tight rope with her feet here, which means they're not in one line. It's rather like a train track situation. That's going to help balance. That's going to help the position of the hips. We're going to take our hands behind our back, interlace our grip, or just grab opposite wrists. Reach the knuckles down and the heart up. And then exhale to humble out that warrior. Drag the crown of your head down. You want your shoulder inside of the knee. Lifting the knuckles as much as the arms are going to allow you to. 1 more breath. Exhale, release the hands. Step that right foot up to join the left. Take your forward fold. And let's deepen it a little bit here. Maybe give your shins a hug and just wrap yourself closer to your thighs. And just know that if you're someone that's like, ugh, bending my knees, that's not even a forward fold. There's really no other way to get to that beautiful shape with the straight legs if you're not willing to visit the starting shape with the bent knees. So give yourself a little grace. 1 more breath here. As you exhale, release the arms. We're going to roll it all the way up to standing. Arms come up overhead. And you decide hands heart or hands to the hips. We'll lift that left knee up to hip height. And you're just holding here. Simple balance, but notice what has to trigger. Notice what has to engage. Right? You've got your low ribs kind of hugged in. You're feeling it in that left glute and the left thigh, and then the arch of that right foot. You got it. 1 more breath. Exhale, set that foot up overhead. We're going to take it back. Practice the arms. Open the chest. Push the hips forward. Inhale to reach it up. And exhale, find that back bend. Maybe you go a little deeper. Inhale, nice and long. and forward fold on your exhale. Halfway lift your spine, and let's plant the hands and come back into our downward facing dog. We're going to rock a spinal wave here, so inhaling into a plank, and exhaling, bend the knees, send the booty back up. 2 more of those. Inhale, wave it forward, and exhale, wave it back. Beautiful. You'll land in your downward facing dog. We've got 3 breaths here. Awesome. Hands and feet will walk to the center of the mat. We're going to find Malasana Yogi Squat. So Val's going to face forward. You don't necessarily have to do that. And know that if you want to, you can sit on that pillow that you've brought with you if you decided to bring it, and just make it more gentle. So the point is not really to balance here. It's more to find the inner thighs. You're going to use the elbows to press the knees away from each other. And we're just going to take some gentle twists here. So the right hand will plant inside of that right leg. Left arm sweeps up and open. And you can continue to open that left arm towards the back of the room. Or you can find a little bind here. Maybe you wrap that right elbow around the right leg and reach your left hand back to maybe grab those right fingers. If a full bind is just not working out, you can always just lay that left hand on the small of your back and keep the right hand on the floor. 1 more deep breath in. Try to open your chest. And as you exhale, let's replace the hands. Reach that right arm up and open. Beautiful. If you want to bind here, go right ahead and do so. And if you aren't touching fingertips, that's okay. You got to start somewhere. So your bind can just kind of be a pretend energetic bind for now if you want. 1 more inhale to open those shoulders, open the collarbones. And exhale, let's come back to our Malasana. All right, I'm going to apologize in advance for this one. We're going to visit a froggy pose. Okay, this is really good for our hips. All right, it's really good for our low back. So what you want to do is bring yourself sideways on your mat like you see Val doing, and of course bring your pillow with you if you'd like to. You're going to widen your knees as much as you can. Now what you want with the feet is the big toe edge of both feet is lying on the ground. Okay, some people can get their hips all the way down. Don't expect that to happen today. You're going to take that pillow if you want it, drape it underneath your belly like Val has hers, and maybe just take a little rest on it, lay down. Now you're going to feel some major pressure in your hips, in your inner thighs. So again, like we've talked about, where can you send your thoughts right now? Send them away from the tension and away from your to-do lists. Try to stay focused and present with your breath. Awesome. We're going to be here for 4 more breaths. I know that sounds like a long time, but you've got this. You can do it. Yep. And if at any time you feel like, I feel like I could deepen, then a way you could do that is maybe inching the knees further apart, maybe taking your pillow away. At the end of that 4th exhale, just start to crawl into kind of a tabletop position. Go really slow. We're going to come to sit on our booties and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. So the feet will come out the width of the mat. The knees will fall to one side and then the other. Hands are behind you, helping to support your body. Try not to dump into the shoulders though, and we're going to wiper 2 more times to each side. Now you can keep that pillow close by you if you want it for this next move. We're going to go forehead to knee pose. So sitting nice and tall on our booties, the spine is long. We'll go left knee bending and foot to the inner thigh. So you can grab that pillow and it will drape inside of that right knee. You don't have to do it with the pillow. We'll all reach our arms up overhead. You want your torso to face that long leg, and then exhale, start to fold over the leg. You can kind of hang out more in the center of your mat and on that pillow if you want, or you can go full forehead to knee and just try to grab your foot with both hands and pull your forehead closer to your knee. Awesome. And even here, try to watch the shoulders. If they start to creep up towards the ears, just give yourself a deep exhale and let them drag back down the back. Now, kind of the same as we did in the beginning of class, you might take that right hand and thread it underneath the left arm and grab for your left knee. Now, Val's got some pretty good flexibility here. If you don't find yourself pulling underneath that left arm and looking under the armpit, that is totally normal. We all start somewhere. And if you feel like you can do it, but you can't do it while you grab the foot, then just let go of the foot. That's okay. You're here for 2 more breaths. A nice little twist while you experience that deep stretch in that right leg. And we're going to come out of this twist with a little back bend. So the left hand will come back down behind the booty, the hips will lift, and that right arm will reach back. Use an exhale to come back to your seat, and we're just going to work the second side. So left leg long, right knee bends, foot to the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall, reach the arms up nice and high, and exhale, take your fold. So one of the tricky things in yoga is, how do I bring my forehead to my knee? And it's a really simple answer, is you just bend your knee more. It's not what a lot of people want to hear, but it's just like our forward folds. If you were to pull this knee straight and try to go out of your range of motion here, all you're doing is really rounding the back and probably blowing out your hamstring, which takes a long time to heal. So avoid that altogether. Bend your sweet little knee. We're going to hang out here for 2 more breaths. Option to take a twist. Left hand threads under the right towards that right knee. And a better view here, you see how Val is kind of pulling on the knee? That's helping her twist further and pull her gaze kind of in between her arms. All right. Let's exhale and start to rise up. Take that right hand behind the booty. Lift the hips up. Let that left arm travel back behind your eyes. And let's use an exhale to come sit back down. We're going to flip over onto our bellies. No graceful way to really do that, but just start to get down there all nice and comfy. And we're going to take the arms and stack them up like a pillow for the forehead and just take a little rest. So if you want to find those windshield wiper legs even here, you would just lift the feet and let them wiper one way and then the other. We're going to take a little one wing stretch for the shoulders. So the left hand is going to go under the left shoulder, and the right arm is going to smooth out nice and long if you have the room. Your gaze is towards the left hand. Start to bend your left knee. The foot is going to lift up and go behind the right leg. So depending on the space that you have, you might be able to walk that left leg out nice and far behind the back. If that doesn't happen today, that's okay. As long as you are kind of opening up that left hip crease, then that's good enough. Feel the stretch, the deep compression in that right shoulder. Take a super deep inhale in. Open your mouth and very nice. One more breath. Inhale nice and deep. Use your exhale to flip over, and let's go to our second side. Left arm nice and long. Flip your gaze to the right. Start to bend that right knee and kick your foot behind your booty. So again, better view on this side. You can kind of see how her whole foot lies down on the ground. The more you bend your knee, the more you're going to find that. Nice full breath in. Open up your mouth and exhale. Good job. Another inhale in, and the exhale will flip us back over to our bellies. We're going to come into that child's pose again, sending the booty back towards the heels and letting the arms elongate in front of you. Be kind to yourself. We're finishing our practice here, so again, it's really easy to start to think about your day. Bring your mind back to your mat. Let's rise up to sit on the heels and just swing your legs out in front of you. We're going to make our way onto our spine here. Come to lie all the way down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself that nice little yogi hug. We're going to take a happy baby. The feet will reach up. Grab for the pinky toe edges, maybe the ankles or the shins. And start to pull the legs down towards the ground. So knees towards the armpits, tailbone towards the mat. Tuck your chin, make your neck nice and long. And just kind of notice if your hammies feel a little bit less tight than they did when you started class. If you want to play in your happy baby, just kind of do what calls to you. There's only a few options here, maybe rocking from side to side or bending one knee and straightening the other. So listen to your body. Give it what it needs. 2 more breath cycles. All right. Let's let the left leg go long down the mat. Hug the right knee in towards the armpit. And then use your left hand to help yourself come into a one-leg supine twist. The right knee will travel over that left leg. Right arm can go nice and long, or maybe you bend the elbow and open the chest a little more. If you hear any pops or cracks in the spine, it's totally normal. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Let's come back to center on an inhale. Squeeze the knees in, let that right leg go long. Left knee, left armpit, squeeze, and exhale, journey into your twist. Open up that left arm, however you choose to. If you bend the elbow, you're more likely to get that shoulder to melt against the mat. And if you really want to twist it up, then you'll gaze over your left shoulder. If not, you're just looking up at the ceiling. One deep breath in, and one full breath out. We're going to come back to center on an inhale. And this is it, my friends. We're going to come into our Shavasana. So 2 choices here. You can bring that pillow back into your life, and either you're going to lay your spine on it for a supported fish, or you're going to go back to supporting those knees. Now, if you decide supported fish, just bring your booty up towards that pillow and let your chest just drape over that entire situation. The shoulders will drop, the arms will drape over the sides of the pillow. And just notice that nice opening in the chest, that little stretch for the belly. And this is where you're going to hang out. If at any time you feel like you just want your spine against the ground, then move this pillow away. We're really grateful to be able to share our practice with you guys virtually or in person. So thank you for joining us again for another Koronasana video. Namaste, yogis.